We bought the house because of the yard, wide, grassy, and fenced all the way around, perfect for our daughter to play in. After years of living in cramped apartments, it felt like space, like freedom. The house itself was old, wood creaked, pipes groaned, but it was solid. 2 stories and an attic we didn't bother opening the first few weeks. It was dusty and smelled like rot, sealed shut since the last owners moved out. We figured we'd deal with it later. We should have dealt with it then. It was a Saturday afternoon when I first noticed something was off. My daughter was outside, playing in the yard with chalk, humming to herself. I stepped onto the porch to bring her some juice. "Hey, sweetheart," I said. "What you drawing?" She smiled and looked up at the house. "At him," she said. I followed her gaze. She was staring at the attic window. At first I saw nothing, just the dirty glass and the pale curtains we hadn't touched. Then I looked closer. There was a handprint, small, on the inside of the window. I didn't want to scare her. I asked gently, "Who are you talking about?" She giggled and said, "The boy in the attic. He watches me play." That night I brought it up to my wife. She brushed it off. Probably just her imagination. You know how kids are. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. That window, that handprint. The attic we hadn't touched since moving in. So after everyone went to bed, I grabbed a flashlight and climbed the creaky stairs. The attic door was stiff, the wood warped from time. When I finally forced it open, a cloud of dust choked the air. The room was empty, mostly. Old boxes, torn wallpaper, a broken rocking horse in the corner. But on the floor, directly beneath the window, was a circle of chalk drawings, childlike, fresh, stick figures. One small, one tall, both frowning. I cleaned the window the next day, wiped the handprint away. But that afternoon, my daughter pointed to the attic again. "He's back," she whispered. The drawings changed after that. She used to draw animals, flowers, family pictures. Now she drew the house, always the same, her outside, a boy in the attic window, watching. His face had no eyes, just dark, scribbled holes. One night, I passed her room and heard her talking. She was alone. I stepped in. She turned quickly, eyes wide as if I'd interrupted something. "Who were you talking to, honey?" I asked. She looked at the closet door. "Just him," she said. "He doesn't like when you come in." That night, I woke up to the sound of footsteps above us, slow, heavy, pacing the attic. My wife didn't hear it. My daughter slept soundly, but I knew what I heard. I set up a camera the next day, just inside the attic door, motion activated. That night, the camera triggered at 2:14 a.m. The footage showed the empty attic. For a moment, then the rocking horse started moving, back and forth, slowly, and in the corner of the screen the chalk stick figure was being drawn, one line at a time, by nothing. I confronted my daughter. I didn't want to scare her, but I had to know. "Is he real?" I asked. "This boy in the attic?" She looked at me with blank eyes. "He was here before us," she whispered. "He doesn't like sharing his house." The attic door wouldn't open after that. It was locked, from the inside. I hadn't put a lock on it. The air in the house changed, heavier, colder. And at night, I started seeing things out of the corner of my eye. A shadow at the top of the stairs, the attic window glowing faintly, footsteps on the ceiling, pacing above our bed. And my daughter? She was changing, paler, quieter. She stopped calling him her friend. Now she called him her brother. One night, I woke up to the sound of her laughter. I rushed to her room. She was gone. The window was open. The ladder to the attic had been pulled down. I climbed. The attic was pitch black, only my flashlight cutting through the dust. The circle of drawings was back, but now there were 3 figures. One small, one tall, one lying down. Beside the chalk was a single fresh handprint, small, pressed in blood. Then I heard it, behind me, clicking, slow, like nails tapping the wood. I turned and saw them. My daughter standing in the dark, smiling, and beside her, him, a boy, or something like one. His face was wrong, stretched, skin gray and too smooth, as if it had been painted on. His eyes were hollow. His mouth was open just enough to see teeth, rows of them. He raised one hand, pointed at me, and whispered, "She's mine now." I don't know how I got back down. I don't remember the fall, only waking up in the hospital. They said I had a breakdown, that I tried to climb into the attic and fell. My wife and daughter were gone by then. They never found them. The attic was empty, but sometimes, when I walk past an old house or see an upstairs window, I see them. 2 figures, one watching, one smiling, and a handprint pressed against the glass.